Welcome everyone. My name is Kayla Gately. I'm a volunteer with the Endangered Species Fund, and today I am here with Karin Simpson, Patty Heppenstall, and Mimi Ross, who all volunteered together for Game Rangers International. So thank you guys for, sitting down with me and talking with me today.
Oh, you're most welcome.
Yeah. Why don't we start off with how you guys got interested in volunteering for GRI? I mean, I know you said you were all friends previously, and I'm kind of curious how you all decided that, you wanted to volunteer together.
I think Mimi needs to field that one.
Well, I was a little bit aware of the program because my brother is a special advisor for Game Rangers International, Charlie Ross, and he lives in the United States, but goes over a few times a year and does work with Game Rangers International. So I happened to be at our parents' house, and we both happened to be at our parents' house visiting at the same time, and he had just come back from, I think, being 2 months in Zambia, and it was showing me all the video and all the pictures, and he was talking about the volunteer program, and it looked pretty exciting. And then Patty came to visit me 2 days later, and I said, Patty, I think this could be a thing. I think we should do this. And then we wrote Dee Dee in as well. So
I go by two names, which
sorry,
confusing. When we all knew each other together when we were in grade school, my name was Dee Dee. So if you get reference to Dee Dee, it's the same as Karin.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one for me.
Okay, so you guys are all friends from grade school, and then you kind of went all together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the funny part is that it's not like we've been in touch since grade school, but we kind of wove back together with some mutual soul searching and looking at life and found each other again. And the idea of going on an adventure with two friends that have such a similar background and interest and, passion for doing something fun, doing something adventurous, but also doing something for a cause was really fun. And that's what I look at as anybody who has a group of people and maybe that you think they'd be a great travel group, this is such a great way to go.
Yeah, I love that because, I've interviewed a few people and some people are like, oh, I just, went by myself or I went with another person. But I love that you guys all kind of went together as a friend group. But yeah, so have all of you always been interested in wildlife conservation?
Yes.
Yes, definitely. I remember even as a kid, I had one of those, the old ecology flags. I had one of those, and I always had my little Ranger Rick magazine learning about wildlife, and it's always been sort of a dream to be able to do something like this. And I just never thought that it would happen because it just seemed so outside of normal. Okay. Sorry. It was just something I thought would never happen. And when this came up, when Mimi said about what Charlie was doing, and it sounded so exciting, and she's always been sort of the super adventurous one out of all of us, I think, and she makes it sound fun and exciting, and we were able to do it. It was kind of a dream come true.
Yeah, that's incredible. So was this your first volunteer experience?
Not in general.
No, I've done other things through our church and gone to different places and volunteered, but it's the first time I've done it with wildlife.
Okay, so you had a little bit of experience with some other volunteering, but this was like your first, I guess, foray into the wildlife.
Yes.
Okay, that's great. Yeah.
I don't know about Dee Dee. Did you ever do wildlife experience?
I don't have any kind of formal volunteer educational, go away and do a trip. I always wanted to join the Peace Corps when I was a little kid, and I have a travel bug to me, but I've done a lot more volunteer and conservation in kind of the world that I live in back here, kind of hands-on stuff. But to be able to combine both of those together was such a unique opportunity. And what I think the other thing that I probably surprised me the most when we got there was how incredibly friendly the people were, and it was such a much bigger experience than I expected it to be, and much broader. But that passion for learning something new and the passion for doing something that helps somebody, and in the same time just having a great time is, that's a vacation that's perfect in my mind. That's a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I love that I hear from a lot of the volunteers that there's, not all of them had some background in this, and there's not like one specific type of person that is going to volunteer, but it's really open to anyone that, is passionate about it. But yeah, speaking of your actual experience volunteering, what was it like when you first got there? And if you want to, speak on your experience of like the actual volunteering part of it.
Take it, Dee Dee.
Okay, all right, I will jump back in. The first part of it was I was very scared that I wouldn't. I'm older. I'm definitely in the worst shape of this group. And I thought, okay, and I was making sure I could stand for 4 hours at a time and do those kinds of things. And the nice part about it was they expect you to jump in and help and do work, but they also play to whatever your strengths are. And we kind of arrived with, I'm an asthmatic, Mimi had COVID, and Patty just had a huge lung infection. So we're like, elephant? Oh no, dust and dirt and straw. And but it was great. They just made us feel included, not overwhelmed. And they just had fun and joked with us, and you could tell that they appreciated us.
Yeah.
We felt like it wasn't just busy work that they had us doing, but it also wasn't overwhelming. So we, at our first location, we mixed up the milk for the bottles for the baby elephants. And so we had to go through and learn the different formulas and how to mix it together the right way. And they were very, very patient and taught us. I'm sure they have taught this to so many people, but they just took their time, and it felt very non-stressful. Like, I was so worried that I would do it wrong, and they would say, no, just do it this way. And that was so nice. And then we went and we cleaned out the boma, and we dragged big sticks to the side, and we got hay and that sort of thing. And just as Dee Dee was saying, it was valued, but it wasn't overwhelming. So it was just right. And we did make friends with all of the keepers. They were so friendly and wanted to hear about our lives and what kind of a place that we were coming from, and we wanted to learn about their lives. And then in the evenings, sometimes, especially in the first location after dinner, we got together and we played cards, or we played games, or we would just sit and chat. I would ask them, what are you studying at school? Or how did you get interested in getting a job like this? And it was wonderful relationships.
Yeah, so it sounds like you really were, part of the community when you guys were there.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
And were there other volunteers there with you, or were you guys, just the group that was there?
It was just the three of us for this time. We didn't know that till we got there, but.
And then towards the end, there was a woman who was in the next group after us. She was just a single volunteer by herself. And so we got to know her. We overlapped a little bit at the end, but most of the time it was just the three of us.
Oh, that's nice.
It was great, but we each had our own separate tent. So we felt like, we could have time to get away and relax when we needed to. But we didn't really spend a whole lot of time in our tents. We went off and did a lot of different kinds of things.
Yeah, and did you, go out into the community and help out there outside of helping with the elephants?
Yeah. We did. One of the things that I thought was very interesting was we went to see some families that had been impacted by elephants trampling their gardens and damaging what they had. And they have sort of a response team for human wildlife conflict. And so we got to go out and see some of that firsthand and talk to the people in the villages who had their things destroyed. And when you're eating from that garden and it gets destroyed, it's huge. It's that's your livelihood. And so it was very eye-opening to see that and get to know them.
Especially during a significant drought where, I mean, you couldn't raise crops to sell to other people. A lot of the time they were just raising, just a tiny little plot that they were able to water from the Zambezi or somewhere. And so, I mean, it was devastating. They're living hand to mouth.
Yeah, and then I know you guys also worked on a project as well in building a well. And
yes.
I was wondering, how that came to be.
Well, I think it started out from that community interaction when we went and we saw the people. And there was one time that I spoke with Bridges, who was the director of the final camp where we were staying. And the people were on my mind so much. I had worked at my former job a few years ago. I worked as a community liaison with a project in Zimbabwe, and one of our projects was building sustainable filtered water systems for them. So I was asking him, what is their biggest struggle that they have? Because clearly they had struggles with the elephants and growing food and finding good, safe housing and that sort of thing. And he said, far and away, the biggest problem that they have is getting clean water. So I asked him, well, what do they do now? And what they do is they walk for miles each day, and they get water from a local river or a water hole. And that water is not only miles away, it's also dirty. So they need to boil it, and they often get sick from the water. The children are the ones that are asked to go and get the water. So if they are walking hours every day to get water, they are not going to school. So it's an impact on the whole family with illness and not having opportunities to do other things. If the women are also carrying water, they can't go out and do other initiatives to raise money. It's just a whole community, sort of a domino effect of not being able to have clean water. So I found out that it's a lot less expensive to get a well dug in Zambia than it is, say, in the United States. And so we started talking about it and just said, we could do this. Let you guys jump in too.
I think it's the problem was it's systemic also. You can't break that chain, and the thing to break the chain is the water. We had also gone to a school and we're very excited, and we thought maybe we do something for the school. But by the time that Patty had the conversation with Rudius, we were very aware that was the most needed place for us to jump in. And Patty had experience in leading the charge from her background with the church in Zimbabwe. And so she kind of led us down the road and helped us. And then it was really reaching out into our communities and to our support people. And we were able to actually build 2, or we're scheduled to build 2, which is awesome. And we hope that we can do more in the future.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you will.
Well, John was a great help because we thought, well, we're going to raise this money, and Mimi had the great idea of using Facebook because she's on Facebook more than I am, and I said, "Oh, well, can you do that?" And so we were able to raise enough money for 2 wells in a pretty short amount of time. And then I thought, well, what am I going to do with this money? How do we get it to game rangers? And that's where Endangered Species Fund came into play. That was hugely helpful.
Yeah, that's amazing because, you know, I feel like a lot of people, they have these ideas and they're like, oh, I want to help, I want to do this, but not, you know, has the ability to follow through. And the fact that you guys were able to follow through and raise that money and do that is something that's really incredible. But yeah, I kind of want to take it back a little bit. You know, if someone is thinking about volunteering, what it might look like once they get there, like what might a typical day look like volunteering for Game Rangers International?
Well, you get up and you're off right off the bat, and we're like, coffee. But I think I would also say we were very fortunate to be there when the weather was really nice, so which is great. But and it's great because the sun just wakes you up, and without the need of, I think we set alarm clocks because a lot of times we went out on a very early game drive to record different game, which was fascinating and wonderful. And that's the part that, okay, if somebody wants to do a safari but they want to do something more, that to me was better than a safari, because you don't feel like you're in a zoo. You're, crossing we're gonna go this way, and we're gonna, let's just drive over that that dry field and see if we can see something on the other side. And no promises, but we saw 4 of the big 5 and saw them probably closer than most people would on a safari. And so that was part of your day, and then taking care of the elephants, and then some kind of outing during the day, maybe going to a community or the school. And then there's also really nice time to kind of kick back and read. And I think for Americans, the really nice part about it is once the sun goes down, there is no internet. You are unplugged. So you get that advantage of really walking away and feeling like you're not isolated in a third country without protection and people who are taking care of you. But you're in a third world country, and it's way different than anything you've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. And then
I would say there really isn't a typical day, because we were in 3 different locations, and each location had its own sort of activities that you would do. And we also were able to do things sort of on the fly, like, today we're going to go see the homes that were damaged by the elephants. And then one day we were planning on going to a radio station, and instead they decided that they were going to have a collaring operation where they brought in a helicopter and a whole team with a vet and everything, and we were putting radio collars on elephants, and it was very, very exciting and didn't expect that. So it was a lot of different things. We went to a school, we got to work with the elephants. You don't actually touch the elephants, but you are very close to them, and you help out with them. So
we also got to do some work with some researchers from, I think, Indiana University. You guys, or is it?
Yes.
And that was our final week, and we got to go out with them looking for elephants. And anyway, they're doing all kinds of different kinds of research in partnership with game rangers. And that was really neat to meet people from, well, just the one professor was from the United States, I guess, but we joined their crew and did look for elephants and droppings and all kinds of things. And so it's just there's an array of people you meet, a huge array of people working for the other people or for the animals nearby, trying to make that marriage where people are respectful of the animals and the kids grow up that way, not thinking, I've got to be scared of this animal, it's bad, we should shoot it, but rather working to appreciate the animals and be safe at the same time.
Yeah, it sounds like very spontaneous almost.
It is, you know, and when you asked that question and I was thinking back to it because before I went, I kind of wanted to have like, okay, here's what my agenda is. Here's what I know we're going to do. And when you get there, there is a little bit of fly by the seat of your pants because we were supposed to go meet into the village to meet the women. And I think somebody had passed away. And so that got, you know, they couldn't meet with us. And so there were some times where we went, oh, I'm kind of disappointed. But just as soon as that happened, something else happened that was just as exciting or took it a different direction. And you just kind of take that time to go, okay, I'm here and the amount of learning and just exploration from, you know, people from here to see and it just took a while to get it all absorbed in. But I mean, I think all three of us left saying, wow, could we do that again, right?
Yes. We all three would love to go back again someday. We learned so much and we did so much, but there's so much more that we could do. And I'd love to have the experience again.
At the same time, I think it's important for people to know that there's downtime. There's plenty of time to say, oh, I do feel like I'm on vacation. I'm going to read a book and put my feet up in a sunny spot or, you know, whatever. There's plenty of time to do that. And also, if you don't feel like doing something on a particular day, you can just stay in your tent and be well taken care of there. But we were told by my brother, anything that pops up and they say, oh, do you want to do this? Say yes. And that's what we did. And that is good advice. I would definitely.
Absolutely, 100%.
We also got to experience the health system with,
Oh, yes.
with COVID. So that was also, you know, kind of exciting and new.
And then also, Patty, I believe you were saying how there were 3 different locations
Yes.
that you guys went to. Would you be able to talk about that a little bit more as well?
Sure. So we flew into Lusaka, where the airport is, and so the first location was about, what do you think, guys? Maybe an hour and a half from the airport.
An hour.
So it wasn't deep into the bush, but you felt like you were pretty removed from the city. And it's an area there where they have the Lusaka National Park. And so they had rhinos that they brought in, and they had giraffes that we saw there, and we did the game drives. That first location is where you kind of learn what you're going to be doing. They teach you how to enter information on a little tablet so that when you go out on the game drives, you are counting the animals. You're saying, oh, we've got 5 zebras and 2 males and 2 females, and they're running across the field, and you enter that in and you have a little GPS marker, and they are teaching you a lot about, and you're just getting acclimated to the whole thing. And you're there for a week. You go to the store and you pick out food that you want to have. And so you cook for yourself, and that's something to know. And it's rustic kind of cooking. And you learn that whole system. You learn about how the food works and that sort of thing. And then you get that's also the place where you learn about the baby elephants, and you mix up the milk, and there's a visitor center that you learn a whole lot about the whole system, how they bring in the babies and then they move them to the other facility later on as they grow older. There's an observation center that people from the community come in, and so you get to see them a little bit. And then you get in the car, you pack up all of your stuff, and it's sort of a Range Rover kind of a thing, and you bounce across Zambia for about 7 hours to the next location. And maybe one of you others want to take the next location?
Well, we did skip there. Now the second location should have been the Primate Center, I think it's called, but we weren't able to go there.
Well, we weren't supposed to live there though.
No, but we did. We
Musa
did
Camp
skip
was
them.
the next one. We spent much too long there because of the collaring operation.
Yeah.
So Lusaka was first, and then Musa Camp was second.
And Musa Camp is where the game rangers, the actual rangers, live. So that was an interesting to see how that's all set up, and we had lots of tours explaining how they did things and what was going on. And that's where we got to start dealing with the community in a bigger way, and going out for community conflict, things that Patty already talked about. And what else?
They had different wildlife there. They had baboons and monkeys that we did not have at the first location. And Mimi is right. We were supposed to stop on the way at the Primate Center. And now I think the Lusaka location also has primates there, and they didn't have them when we were there.
That's true. And they added we were kind of the very beginning where they added the primate stop in, but now I believe they've made it a night there, or either that or you leave really early and you spend 5 or 6 hours there and then you drive some more. But we were our schedule was kind of wonky when we were, as we said, be flexible. Then we went to the third camp, which Patty, Mimi, the name of it?
Phoenix Camp.
Phoenix Camp, that's right. And that was really the research arm of the program. And it's super neat when you get there because it's by far the most luxurious of the camps. And so you're like, oh, this is really nice. And it's kind of a combination of the best of the other two. And that was
still tense. It's still rustic, but it's beautiful. They're all beautiful.
Yeah, on their own individual way, they're all beautiful. This one, it has a better kitchen setup. And
it has a real refrigerator.
Yeah, real refrigerator. There you go. The folks were so nice who were working out of there, and researchers, but then also the rangers who were there with the elephants. And you're right on a river, and it was just very, very peaceful. And then they give you kind of a day off a week and they take you to, I'm going to air quote, a resort.
I forgot about that. You're right.
Which were really nice days and actually gave us, the three of us, time to chit chat and really spend time together, kind of in a vacation mode. We were laughing because the first one we went to, we were so dusty and hot and tired. And I'm like, great, we're going to a resort there. And I knew there was a picture of a pool there, but I thought, I got to get a shower. All I really want is a shower that runs with a really strong water pressure. And we got there were no showers. And I'm like, you guys, we can't get in the pool with this much dust on us. There'll be red clay floating off of all of us. So, but it was really fun to do that because the food at all the resorts was super different, super wonderful. So, and somebody cooked it for you. So that was a nice little break each week.
So if I can interject one thing, this is how much fun we had working with the research team and the elephants, so you get one a week, and the third one, we didn't want to do it. We wanted to stay at camp and keep working because we loved it so much.
Absolutely.
So we let that one go by, so we only went to 2 of them, but they were wonderful.
Yeah, and you guys kind of touched on this too. But another question I had that I think people may be wondering about is, what the living accommodations are like. I know you said you like lived in a tent, right? Mm-hmm. And I think people may be interested to know, like what's that like, and like what's like the showering like, if they're thinking about coming and volunteering.
The tents are permanent tents. They're not like Boy Scout tents. They've got a concrete base that they're on, and you get an actual real bed and some of them have a chest of drawers and some of them don't, but they have a usually a trunk that you can lock if you have something that you think is valuable that you'd worry about. Although honestly, I never worried about that sort of thing at all.
I was more worried about the primates at the second location who are known
Yeah.
to steal a cell
Sometimes
phone.
the monkeys you have to
The
worry about.
monkeys
getting
are
you
your
stuff.
biggest thieves. Yeah.
But if that's a concern, that's something that you absolutely have if you need it. And the nights get very cold, but they do tell you to wear long underwear, which I took and I was very happy to have. But they give you a nice thick blanket, so I'm kind of a big baby about being too cold, and I was not too cold, even though outside of the blanket it was cold. But yeah, I thought it was very, very comfortable. They have a zipper for going in and out, and then there's a bathhouse that has showers and toilets there. So it's like a communal bathhouse.
But they're private. They're each, has a stall, so you don't feel like you're, out in a locker room situation where, if you're a little more modest. They also have mosquito netting. We were really fortunate to be there during a non-mosquito time. Maybe that's something from the drought helping a little bit.
Yeah,
but
I did not see a mosquito. I did not get one mosquito bite the
well,
entire
that's
time.
not true. Mimi got nailed on the after we left, and we went.
Oh, well, that was
was
not
the-
at Game Rangers.
No,
That
Game
was
Ranger,
the fourth
mosquitoes.
location.
At
Right.
Victoria Falls, she got lots of mosquitoes.
Yes, and it's beautiful there, and that's a great way to end the trip. And we all stayed a couple extra days there after the Game Rangers part was over. And that's the only place they had the tiniest, little nastiest mosquitoes, but it's because they're right by the Zambezi River. And other than that, though, the bugs didn't bother us.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys were, well taken care of while you were there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
Also, one other thing that maybe add is we had 3 pretty varietal diets. So Patty is I'll say she's a vegan loosely. She will go vegetarian if she has to. And Mimi, you don't do milk, right? Or
No, that's me. That doesn't do
that's
milk.
you too. Okay, maybe you were just that. But we were able to find enough, and between going to the grocery store with them, and the hardest part we had for food was the fact that the refrigeration was really bad in the second camp. But we've already kind of said to them, hey, you need to think about how you guys are doing this. And the problem is it was power. It was a power to run. And if you had had more people than just the 3 of us, I think that would have been really tricky.
I would like to add one thing that I think is important about the third location, Phoenix Camp. That is where the elephants, the first camp you go to in Lusaka, is where the younger baby elephants are. And the first place when a baby elephant is rescued because it's orphaned, it goes there. And then when those elephants there get big enough, they transport them to Phoenix Camp, which is in Kafue National Forest, with the idea that they're still feeding them, they're still getting their milk, but they're getting big enough and they can leave. They're dependent on the team, but eventually the goal is for them to leave and go off and join a wild herd, which many have, and that's like the success. That's everybody cheers and yells if we find out that's happened. That's totally the goal. So we got to help with those big elephants too and watch them leave during the day and just go out into the bush and interact. So that was pretty exciting too.
yeah, that's incredible too. So you got to work with elephants, primates, and you got to go and work in the community and go into the schools as well.
Oh yes, the school visit was a lot of fun.
Actually, that is the video that you need to send, is the school visit, because it is such a funny video of the kids and interacting, and the 3 of us being so silly and having a great time. Maybe one of the funny parts about it, and this is where I look at it and go, if you're in a friend group and you haven't seen each other for a long time, what happened was the goofiness of us being, grade schoolers came out, and the next thing you know, we're like breaking into song. We're teaching them, how to do dances, and then they were teaching us stuff. So it was fun. And the kids had such a great time with, getting their pictures taken and all that kind of stuff. And so it was really neat.
I was ready to move to Zambia immediately.
It was.
Forget my family and my life, just move to Zambia.
Well, that's so exciting too that you guys, got to go and be a part of the community, because at first, hearing about the volunteer program, I think everyone, thinks about the elephants as like the main thing, but there is really so much more to it. Like, it's not just that you're helping with elephants, but you're, going into the community and meeting people and helping with other animals as well.
Yes,
I think
absolutely.
that was part of the things, you talk about the things that you go, aha, when you're there. And if I had thought about, I'm going over to help a community, it wouldn't have been, I was interested in it because of it being the elephants. But when you get there and you recognize how difficult it is for the people who are living there, and the whole elephant human conflict, and how poor the country is and stuff, you start to go, that's the part that you really start to respect what you have at home, and you really respect how fragile the world is, and you think, okay, what can I do to help? If I can help 400, 500, 1,000 people there, that's what I want to do.
Yeah, it does give you a whole new perspective on your life and the blessings that you have. And one of the things that they said when they sent out a list of what we could pack was, they said you could take things to donate. And you might think, oh, well, I'm paying for this and now they want me to donate stuff. But I would absolutely recommend doing that. It was very rewarding. That you can take school supplies, you can take clothes. They even have, there's a program that I'm going to be working with. If volunteers come from the US, that they can take little pad supplies for women for their periods. And if you have room in your luggage and you can take things to donate, it's very worthwhile, and I would definitely recommend it.
Highly appreciated by the people there. That was the other, you could see how much, I think I brought 6 soccer balls over, and they were thrilled. And part of it was also just, when we first got to Lusaka, and I'm like, I was looking at the rangers and the keepers, and they wear these great boots, but I'm like, I can see the soles coming out of their boots. I mean, can we send boots over? What can we do, to help them? And that all of a sudden, the fact that you may have paid some money, and you can see that what you pay is, they use every single dime of it in the best way they can. I by no means felt like it was expensive for what we got. Great accommodations, great security. We had Mimi in particular had an immigration issue, and they were on top of that helping. And it was really just so professionally done. And I never ever felt in danger out driving around or in any of the camps. Which is nice.
That might be a good time to add that with us, we had a hostess and a driver. Mostly, the hostess was with us all the time, except in her own tent. But so you get to know them really well, and she speaks a couple of the languages there and took such great care of us. Her name was Chachu, and she will be our friend for life now. In particular,
yes, we still interact with them.
And our driver Joseph, because he realized that we really liked the game drive, so I don't know if he was supposed to, but he was always game for getting up at the crack of dawn or before dawn to take us on a drive to try to see animals that might only be out at the night. So our driver and our hostess made everything feel safe, and like there was nothing that could really go wrong.
Yes, and it was nice having a female, and for us, on our way one time we were going through towns as we were going from one location to another, and I had to stop and use the restroom, and so every time one of us had to do that, she would get out and she'd go scout it out first and make sure that it was okay, and then sometimes I needed an explanation on how to use this unique method of going to the bathroom. So she would go and look at it and she'd say, okay, well, now this is how you flush it, and this is where the toilet paper is, and this is how you do it. And that was really helpful. And one time we went to a little market where you go and you talk to the different vendors, and sometimes the people who are selling things can be really aggressive about, in your face, like, buy this. And our driver, Joseph, when I was stopping in a couple of these stalls, he just stood there right next to me to make sure that nobody was trying to pick my pocket or take advantage of me or do anything. And I felt 100% safe and taken care of in every way.
Yeah, that's really important too, to know that, you felt protected and safe while you were out there. And
Yeah.
Hostess, is that kind of like a guide almost? Where she kind of like showed
The weird term for it. It should be a guide. A hostess in the United States makes it sound like it's the person meeting you at a restaurant, and she does way more than that. And she tracks the money for the week and the grocery shopping and all of that, but she's also really the person you go say, hey, the zipper on my tent doesn't work. Can I get a new tent? Or I'm really cold at night. Is there a way to find an extra blanket for me? And she's just the one who kind of gives you all the rules when you get there. This is what you need to do, and from a safety standpoint. So kind of from that direction.
Yeah, like
Guide. I think they should change it to guide for sure. Hostess, not so much, but yeah, she helped me. I had something was wrong with my immigration, which was nobody's fault, but she was with me every step of the way for that. And sometimes I didn't understand what somebody was talking about, and she was right there on it to help me out. And
also,
sure.
just from a standpoint of with that, like the immigration situation, it was, she knew the ins and outs of Zambian politics to know what was going on. And she could call it turn around and say bullshit to the guy. And, where we would have been like, I don't know, just take all of our money.
And she's someone that you're still in contact with today.
Oh, yes. Well,
Yes.
She's the same age as our daughters. So we told her that she has 3 new moms now. And we just sort of adopted her, and she was somebody who really enjoys thinking deeply about things. So we would get up in the morning and sit around and have a cup of tea and just talk about life and deeper things while we were getting ready for the day. And she might share a poem with us, and or what do you think about this? And I don't know, it was just it was really fun to just sort of get to know her. And when you're with somebody every day for that long, you really do kind of start a relationship with them. So yeah, we've adopted her for life, I think.
I love that you made that connection, and that you still have that connection now. I think that's great also. And then also I wanted to ask, how long was the program? Like, how long were you guys there for?
It was about 3.5, well, depends on if you include the travel time or not. I think it was 3 weeks there, and then it was several days there and several days back. So altogether, I think I was gone, 28 days? Because you have a couple days at the end at Victoria Falls, which is just focused on having some fun.
And I think I would recommend, I run my own business, and so being gone for a long time is tough. And this is the longest I've ever been gone, especially knowing that I didn't know how much access I would have to internet and things like that. Mimi has elderly parents and lots of grandkids being born, and Patty has extensive travel, but is also tough to be gone for that long in her world too. But we all, I think we all would have wished we had probably added 4 or 5 more days to travel around, and I think that's why we all feel also like we want to go back, because you're just touching the surface.
Yeah.
I would also highly advise, it's very easy to add on a few days at the place that you end up with GRI. They spend our driver and Chachu spent the night with us there, and then they went home and we stayed extra time. And it's a similar thing. You're in a tent, but you have also kind of a restaurant, and there are plenty of things to do.
Let's remind Mimi that she stayed in a tent and you and I opted to stay in a very luxurious hotel room.
Yeah.
I forgot, you can upgrade.
We want a real room, and so we got a hotel room there. But Mimi, and she also stayed longer than we did. The two of us went back.
But it's inexpensive to add a few days on. It's like $50 a night for a tent, something like that. I don't remember, but and I went and floated the Zambezi and added on a bunch I was there a little longer than them, but definitely a few more days staying is worth it if you could fit it in.
Yeah, well, that's great advice for anyone, that's thinking about volunteering. And then also, what is the biggest, takeaway that you have from this experience? if you could answer that in one takeaway.
I think it cemented me in the fact that a vacation that is just a vacation is probably something that I'll never do again. That I always want to have a component that I'm either educating myself, that's really kind of why I like to travel the most, is learning new things, but also finding something that I can be passionate for or help. So maybe if I took a vacation and went to Italy for cooking school, I might spend 2 days there saying, okay, what's, give me something I can do as a volunteer, because that was such a wonderful way to experience what, I'll say the safari vacation is. And I think it was so much more rewarding.
And rewarding too, also in that you're meeting the local people. You're not just, going to Cabo and having people bring you margaritas and then sitting in the sun. You're actually communicating with the local people on such a close level. And again, going back to Zambians are the friendliest people in the world. I had heard that from my brother, and it was certainly true. And the biggest smiles in the world, especially the kids. And it makes you think, you see how little some of these kids have going to these schools, and they're just so happy. And whenever we would show up at someone's hut out of the blue, they would find a place for us to sit, even if there wasn't a chair. They didn't have anything. They would bring over a stump, or one time kind of a falling apart chair, but whatever it was, they would bring it, and we would have to sit down and they would all stand, because they're so respectful and courteous.
Yes, that's incredible too. Sounds like
I would also say, if anybody is thinking about this and they are scared about trying to do something that you've never done, and it's so far away and it's rustic, and will I be okay? They take care of you from the minute you step off the plane. They are there to meet you in baggage claim, and they walk you through everything, and they take care of you, and you will 100% be okay. But yeah, it's life-changing. You will never look at your life the same way again.
And is there any advice that you would give to someone that's, listening to this or watching this and thinking that they now want to go over and volunteer?
Do it.
Yeah. Just do it. Just do it. Right. We'll be a Nike ad. Just do it. When listening to the other two talk and kind of thinking back on that question and my answer, I would also stress that the difference between being when you go travel with a travel group, my phone has been pinging me left and right because there's a group that wants me to do a Netherlands, Belgium trip, and it's with like a EFS tours company. You get to know the people who are on the tour, but you don't get to meet locals, and that's such a difference of being immersed in the community with those people, but still having the experience of being in a group, a tour group that's taking care of you, right? So there's, and the people who are like, I don't want an agenda. I don't want my life to be that the good news is, especially if you're like if the three of us had said, we don't want to do that, we want to do this, they would have been like, okay, we'll do that. So we're pretty, we're like, very much of the, no, we came for you to tell us what the best things to do are. But you could tell, just the fact that we had to take some days and go negotiate the hospitals, and they had to go to a different hospital than we did, and we all had to get COVID testing, but you know what? They made it work, and they took care of us.
Yep.
Yeah, I love the focus on community too. It seems like it's very community oriented, which is always good.
And I've done sort of outreach volunteer trips to other locations before, and that really is the most meaningful thing. You get to know the actual people who live there. You're not on a vacation tour. You're a part of the community.
Yes, definitely. And then I know you said you guys are also, trying to build another well. And I was wondering if there's any fundraising aspects that people can get involved in and help with.
Well, we've raised the money that we need for both of the wells.
Okay.
And all we're doing now, and we've already sent it to John, and he's already sent it to Game Rangers, and we're just waiting for the dry season because they need to do that during the dry season. They need to do that for the well.
But stay tuned, because if we do a third one, we will definitely send you a link.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, for
Thank
sure.
you. Thank you for asking that. That's a great resource. And I think all three of us would also say that if you had somebody who contacted you and said, would either any of the three of us talk to anybody, we would be more than happy to share our experience.
Sure. The school that we went to and we visited was built by a volunteer who, like us, went there and had a very meaningful experience, and then went home and raised money to build the building that was the school that we went to. And I think that is something that other people might, when you go there, you see the need and you see that, yes, you can make a difference. You absolutely 100% can make a difference. Even if you feel like you don't really have much to offer, you will make a difference in those people's lives. You don't have to raise money for a well. You just by being there, you're making a difference.
Yes, definitely. And yeah, you did make a difference. And I'm sure it will inspire other people to do so as well.
I hope so. I really just, if you have any doubts in your mind at all, just put them aside and do it. You will not be sorry.
I think I think back to what the biggest hurdles when I heard about it, I thought my health and, getting all the shots and everything like that. I was really glad we planned it, 8 months in advance. And that turned out to be really not a problem. None of us got, really, really sick to our stomachs. Nobody broke a leg. I think we had a big bruised leg at one point, and Amy's COVID, and I showed up with a black eye because I fell in the airport before I got there.
But the COVID was not from Zambia. It was from
Yeah,
before. It
the
was
travel.
the travel. So
Yeah, wear your mask on the planes because it's a long time to get there. You meet a lot of people.
so yeah, I would say plan early, like Dee Dee was saying, because there's a lot to do. But if you plan early and you start, get your shots and line up what you need to pack and stuff, it's not that bad.
And tea tree oil. Tea tree oil. We didn't know, and I don't think they knew either, but that is to keep away the tsetse flies. Seemed to be the best thing.
Yes.
Good to know. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for taking the time to speak with me about your experience. It was
Oh, you're welcome.